for coming out here with me, Christopher. I am having a wonderful time. You mean a lot to me, and I'm glad that you're having a blast. I am so out of breath.
Happy birthday, Dieter. Say happy birthday. Give Dieter kisses. Give him kisses for his birthday.
You want a bath for your birthday?
Yes, he wants a bath.
Okay, so we get a bath.
Chris needs to cut the grass because it grew like a lot from the snow last week. And hold on one second. Dieter. Dieter, come here, Dieter. Come here, Dieter. Dieter. Like, it definitely needs to be cut bad. It's been raining for 2 days. Oh, Mandy. It won't be too long. I mean, shoot. Next month we'll be there. We leave for San Diego on June 22nd. We arrive at 1:30 in the morning back to Denver on June 26th. And then we leave out that afternoon on June 26th to go to North Carolina for 6 weeks. Like, that's a long time. But I'm super excited. It's going to be fun. We get to spend time with the family, which is always fun, adventurous. Love family. Should be fun. I like the cap because it's good to the last drop, I promise. Just me and the girls, and Chris will be coming the end of July. He's requesting the days off today, so he'll be there like July 31st through August 7th. We fly back home, and then August 7th we fly home, and then I go to Scottsdale the 11th and 12th for the weekend. Nikki, you should be here at my house instead of on live. Get your butt over here. Get off the live. And you better not be on live and driving, because I'll smack you. I mean, I know.
We did it again. I like that shirt. Really?
Really?
That's awesome.
Bye.
Not having that many people inside the house just yet.
I tried to stop them before they went in, but that just didn't happen, so it's okay.
Hi there.
So we need to have everybody step out of the house.
Okay. Mostly because we don't want the dog to get confused with all the sights going on,
So
so we
you
want to
can
have it
leave
as
that
minimal
there.
as possible.
You can leave your camera
Oh,
there.
no, I'll bring it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to mess you guys up at all.
Appreciate
my,
it.
My son has, yeah.
And she's just getting the dog all prepped up and cool.
Dieter's using the backyard, so.
What's that?
The dog, Dieter. He's in the backyard.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Step down.
Yeah, just in the driveway is totally fine.
Thank you.
decided to dig it out. It was buried.
He will be hysterical for a few minutes till he settles down. That's just the way he's real intense.
Okay.
But he knows what he's doing.
Perfect.
So. He looks real calm now, but you just wait.
Just wait. Brace myself up.
Yes, brace yourself. That's what makes him.
He's a lab. I would expect nothing less.
4 labs in 38 years.
Really?
So this will be the 4th one.
Wow.
And the last one, probably
They're great dogs.
over 75. And we had awesome opportunities. So the good Lord's been good to us.
That's great.
So I'm going to take this gal. No, you wait for him. His name is Cody. That
Hey, Chris. So I don't want to interrupt you in your interview. Just have to ask again. You're 100% okay with the dog going in there, searching any part of the house? And again, this is just consensual.
I don't need to sign anything.
Feel free to say no if you want to.
You're good. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Good job, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, right now, first here. What's that?
It's pink, whatever it is.
Yeah. Could it be diluted?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Doesn't have the right color
No, it
tint
doesn't
to it.
really, but you just never know. So.
Right.
Alright, let's finish up here. And then we'll go back there and go downstairs. It's getting more and more tentative as we go through the house. You notice that?
Hey, Chris. As for the kids or your wife, do they wear nightgowns when they go to sleep?
Well, the kids have all their pajamas, and they kind of are like little dresses.
Okay.
That's the ones that are in the laundry. They have ones with shorts, t-shirts. They have longer ones. They just mainly, when it's hot, they'll have those little dresses.
Okay. Do you know those were the ones they were wearing that night, or?
The ones that it's kind of hard to tell. Like they like those, like the ones that look like paper pancake type things, but I'm not sure if those are still in there or not.
Okay. I guess I'm just trying to make sure that as for washing,
A lot of these are
you the one that
motion
washed all the laundry, or does she
I'm
wash
usually
parts of it?
I'm usually the one that does the laundry.
You know, she washed
These are the shoes
part of it
that she
because I
took
might,
the
if she's the one that touched it in her sense on it.
So the
might
ones
go
that are
on
in that laundry basket, those are the ones I put in the laundry basket.
Okay. Is there any ones that you know that for sure she washed?
No, because we got home on the 7th.
Okay.
I went to work for 2 days. I don't think she did any
Yes.
laundry, and then she left on the 10th.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah.
She had everything all packed from the other trip to go to Arizona.
Okay. Yeah, they were just asking. So, yeah, if we could able to see something that she washed, then you know, it would get her sense
if
on
she
it.
did, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe I
it sounds
lost
like
one
it
or
did.
not.
Okay. All right. Just trying to have fun with it.
That or upstairs.
Oh, there's an upstairs?
There's an upstairs, yep. All the bedrooms are upstairs.
Well, let's do that.
You want to go up first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's the upstairs?
To the right?
Oh, I see it. Okay.
Do you get what I meant by the nightgown? Do you remember the little basket that he showed us on top? So he said that's yeah, that's where he puts all their nightgowns. He doesn't know. He can't remember if that's the one they were wearing that night. But that was the ones there. But that's the ones that he said he touched. So that helps at all or not.
So there should be in that basket some of the kids' clothes and their nightgowns that they may or may not have had on that night. Not me.
Just lady? Yeah, well, you may have carried something or...
It's possible.
Definitely scent.
So there's your attic access right there. Do I need to climb up there? My gloves.
Since this place has been so infinitely cleaned recently, that's kind of interesting to me, unless that's the way they live.
Oh, just let us know. You're free to go inside the house.
Oh,
if you
you're
want
fine. I was
to.
just going to wait until you guys are completely done.
And once you think you have to stand out here, you can go inside if you want to. So.
Being out of the house. Nothing really refreshing, but just like, I wanted to go door to door over there and see the town guard. All the hospitals. Check my information. Check.
Were you asking or did you?
I should ask.
I would.
Okay, so this is their bedroom and master bath, and then the girls' rooms.
Debit card. I'm in the laundry room.
Okay.
What's that?
Flashlight?
Yep.
See if you can go in.
Here. I've got a book under there. And a rock. Hello. Just a big book.
Nothing. No storage or nothing. Now see, this is a bed though, so scent will go down. You think somebody's sleeping in
Oh,
there.
that was my glasses.
Up here. Now, did you get everything?
Yeah, do you want me to pull the book out? It's literally right here.
Oh.
That's it?
Scent.
Uh-huh.
That's what he was showing me.
Okay, that's what it is. I'm going to step back in the laundry room for a second.
Okay.
Well, you can leave it just up here. I was the reason I couldn't look at that was if it been transferred but not into history.
This is the first media you talked to, or have you talked to several?
I've never talked to anybody. This is like, I'm like nerve-wracking. I've never put in front of a camera. It was probably like high school or something.
Yeah.
This is like
Completely
like
different.
I need to get the word out there. So I'm
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's a
my
big thing.
reservations behind me. I'm like, I just want to talk.
Yeah.
So like, I don't like.
And then even though saying it every time again,
Like I don't mind being repetitive. Like I mean, I just want the word out. I mean, whoever's next, like, oh, I'm here.
Yeah. So the good thing right now is the more people know, the better they can keep an eye out and hopefully see
like
something.
The pictures they see, you know, they'll see.
What's in this closet? Husband and wife room.
They got the dogs in there, so you can go in. You can go in, but like.
No, you guys are, yeah, pretty good. You guys are fine to go in. I think they're out on the top. They're just trying to catch a scent on it, but yeah, you guys are fine if you want to go inside.
Are they good at like tracking? Like if they smell something, they can.
Yeah. So the one they have now is a bloodhound. So they'll pick up on a certain scent. If they can get a strong one, and then depending on how hard the scent is, they can trace it back to like footsteps. So they have the bloodhound, and then they have the canine that can do just specific tracking around the area. So we start getting that one out here shortly. Once she's all done, we'll start getting them both out in the area to see if they went out on foot, or at least an area that they started walking towards. Hey, so I don't know if it's good for her or the canine, which ones. So they said that at the pool party, so they both have car seats.
That they what?
They both have car seats, the kids.
Car seats?
Yeah.
They should, they're little.
Yeah. So he said on Saturday, when he took them out of the pool party, they were soaking wet. So the car seats might still be wet. I don't know if they could still get some sense off of that or not.
That needs probably to be the other dogs. This dog is looking for different.
Okay, and they're calling you on the radio.
I'm right here. Hey, come to the door. Perez, hanging up on you.
You guys want to go inside?
No, we'll just hang out on the
free. No, this is perfect. You guys are fine.
Perez.
That's the other track team.
Okay.
So this dog's looking more for trauma or heated areas.
Oh, okay. So something
those dogs
fresh.
are going to track the scent.
Okay.
We may be able, if they're still out there. Have they started yet?
No.
Yeah.
Got you on the radio.
Yeah. They what? 99. Who was it?
Just to be advised, I have an update in your call. RP has possible information for you. Wants contact by phone reference to the call.
Copy advised. They're watching that back to the PD anyway.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's.
That's what the night nurses said. They wear a lot. You can't remember exactly which one.
There were multiple in there. That's why. Okay, that's why we asked. Okay. All right. Where are we heading?
Anything I need?
Nope. We've got about 12 things going on this time.
Dog going inside? Okay. Yeah, we're good.
Is she in here?
Hey, Lions, where you at?
What's that?
Where you at?
Basement. Basement.
We need directions. We don't know where basement is at. Oh, it's gonna be over here. Right down over here. Yeah.
Come on, downstairs. I know, looks like a big hole in there. Come on.
Let's just do a search of this
Yep.
without information from what Janie did, and
Yep.
to give you a little bit better information.
Sounds good.
Let's go find. Is this the bed that's used, or is it just...
We don't know. It's the only bed in the house that's unmade.
Dispatch, Jones County 23.
Stop. Dax, don't put this. Dax, come here.
Do you need a flashlight?
Yeah, I'm just seeing what to use. So he's not doing it, his trained final alert.
Okay.
So I would say there's no HRT stuff down here. He has a little interest here. Dax, come here, please. You know, it may be worth looking at this map if things develop. I don't know. It's just kind of had a little bit of. Is this where Janie's dog had interest too? Or?
Very good. The opposite side, so bed area, and we actually shut off the furnace just to eliminate that. But it was from the other direction, right where those coolers were.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of just refocus. So I don't know.
832, can you repeat that?
If there was...
Yeah, if you're not tied up on something, you meet me out in Johnson's Corner.
Okay.
Sorry. Copy, I'm just finishing up on the out there.
Am I good to turn this back on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, there was just revisiting right here. And the only thing... I mean, there's a bag of rope and some tie downs and a whole bunch of paint cans.
Yeah, so I'm pretty confident it would not be a body or parts.
Okay.
If you heard that, he said he's confident that there's no body or parts being down there.
But I think we're good for now.
Did it work?
We'll use what we got.
Okay, perfect.
Alright, Dax.
Dispatch, John, County 32. Can you declare me a Robert from my current call, and I'll be en route to 823's call at Johnson's Corner.
Anything else in the house you'd like us to check?
Unless your counterparts have shared any information with you, I don't necessarily have anything.
Okay. Did she do the garage?
She has not done the garage.
Oh, let's do that.
Okay. Garage should be this way.
We could do the garage and use the outside.
Why didn't Officer Lines just say, could you just go and check upstairs? Because Jane's dog did alert upstairs. His intensity was lower than it was in the basement. You know, to cover all bases. Just while the dog is there, while the cadaver dog is there. Go and run him round upstairs. Why didn't they do that? First of all, before we get to that, this is Chris's trip report the police got from Anadarko. And this is for the 13th, just before Chris came home. So you can see here that he reached his home, but previous to that, he'd stopped for, there's a stop duration, He stopped there for 4 minutes at or around 6507 Black Mesa or Mesa Road. So let's take a look at a map. That's where Google Maps takes me. So this is Chris's house, this is Betty's, this is Nate's, Steeple Rock Drive, and Clubhouse and Black Mesa Road is here, and that's the address that Google Maps takes me to. What's happening here is he goes a little bit berserk behind this. I think it's like a portaloo, portable toilet or something, perhaps for the workmen working on the site there. Jane gets a phone call.
My dad wants to talk to you.
So she says, my dad wants to talk to you. So this is Jeff's daughter. So Jeff is phoning Jane.
Here.
They get tangled up in the leash. So Jane goes and takes the call. All the while, Cody has been barking, and he's been waiting for Jane. He's been alerting to Jane because she's his human, and he's trying to tell her something.
No, I know what he was talking. Okay, I know what he's doing. Jeff said the scent from the house is over here.
Right, so she knows what he's doing. Jeff said the scent from the house is in there. So Cody was absolutely right to alert at this spot.
That's exactly what he's doing. Picking up the scent from the house.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because I said, I don't know why you do this. Show it alert.
So she says it's the only way to show that it works. It's to plant a scent for the dog to find. So he's found the planted scent. So let's bear that one in mind. They wander off to do some actual searching now.
The house is over. They discovered that.
Okay.
So we discovered that. So note the red dumpsters. Now, when Chris confessed, I think that was at the Wisconsin confession, he said that he put his clothes and stuff, you know, the things that he didn't want people to find, in a red dumpster on his way home before he went and met Coonrod and Nicole and Nicholas. So we see a street sign coming up here, so we'll get there in a minute. So this is Black Mesa Road. So we are walking along here, and you can see there the clubhouse. So we're currently about here. So we've just crossed this street, so that's that one. So we're here. Okay, so he's getting excited, and he's leading Jane. He's leading Jane. He knows his job. Investigating. Locating. Sniffing again.
Really, the people should have more issue.
Johnson 823, dispatch 7.
With ticks and fleas from the curry dogs than they do the oil.
I wish they'd just pay attention rather than talking about ticks and fleas, because Cody's very alert now. Pay attention.
Yes.
Sam, go ahead and send me that parking complaint. I'll be en route for that. And you can change my zone to chief.
Nose in the air. Now, look where he's looking. Look what he starts to do. He starts to focus this direction. He starts to focus over here. What he's trying to do in a moment is to get through this fence. So he keeps going back to the fence. And look, he actually stops. He keeps stopping. And he's trying to find a way through the fence.
When he stops, I'm going to stop.
So she says, when he stops, I stop. But he kept stopping and looking through the fence, through this wiring. Cody's like, listen to me. Take me through the fence, please. So he stops, and then she says, go on. He keeps stopping, looking directly across. Now, I know that we've got the benefit of hindsight, haven't we? We know that Chris put his clothes or whatever into one of these dumpsters. And we know that he stopped up here, right? We're getting to the spot now, because that's that other road that's across, almost directly across from the address that Google gives me. So it's either this dumpster or this dumpster, and he keeps stopping, looking, and he's now starting to alert. She tells him to go on. And he can't get through the fence. Look at him there. He's intently looking. He's stopping, he's signalling. And telling her. And she says what? And then he's like, oh, well, whatever. And he wanders off. And then she follows him. And she follows him because they then go investigating something in the field. And Officer Lines ends up walking all the way up to the end of the road here, where the fence kind of ends. And then she wanders off to follow Jane. Now, Jane spots something and thinks that, well, we'll go over this way. Doesn't matter that Cody's looking through the fence to get to the opposite side. But no, she told him to go on. What's the point in sending a dog out to trail a scent when you're not going to listen to them? This is another example of humans thinking they know better and dogs actually knowing it all.
You know that, yeah. Okay. Would you take a polygraph? Sure. Okay. Would you take it tonight? If that's what you want me to do. I've never done one. I don't know what it involves, but okay. You know where it is? From what I've seen, it goes on your finger. You know what the purpose of one is? That's for a lie detector test.
Unbeknownst to Chris, in the hours that he was there taking that polygraph, investigators were at Survey Ranch, and approximately 15-27 hours, a drone was flown over the site of Survey 319. While Tammy was out of the room, Chris watched videos of his little girls playing happily in North Carolina as the drone flew over the gravesite of wife Shanann and over the oil tanks in which the bodies of his daughters lay. But that wasn't the only thing that was going on. Something else was occurring at around 5:30.
Interviewing Nicole Kessinger with Mark Blair.
Whatever you feel comfortable talking about.
I met Chris at work. He's not one of my direct co-workers. He just works kind of in passing in the same office building as me. I met him, I don't know, sometime probably around the beginning of June.
On this day, Mistress Nicole Kessinger had come forward to report that she was in a relationship with Chris. She thought she would do everything she could to help the investigation of the disappearance of Shanann and the girls. Unbeknownst to her, the police were already aware of her existence. On the 14th, surveillance had been out, suspecting that Chris would travel to her place. At the very time that Nicole was being interviewed, Chris was in the interrogation room. He'd just confessed to Father Ronnie that he killed Shanann because she killed the girls.
What is that?
It's the BRC Survey 319.
Okay. Whereabouts is Shanann and the girls?
uploaded this picture.
Today.
Last today.
Okay, can you mark it for me? Thanks. I think it's the paper. It's just kind of, yeah. The S for Shanann. Okay, and where are the girls at?
Here.
In these? So which one is, do you know which one?
Are they in the tanks? Can somebody who doesn't know what they're doing open those? Okay, it's easy to open them.
What's in the tanks?
It's a mixture of oil and water.
There was a sheet found down here?
Mm-hmm.
Where's that from?
That was what Shanann was wrapped in.
What about the girlies? What were they wrapped in? Just in their pajamas? Not with their blankets or anything? Where did their blankets and toys and stuff go?
Probably flew away in the wind or something right here.
Where did you set them or put them?
It was right here, but
So, how did you dig this out? I'm assuming that's under dirt. How did you dig that?
It's a shovel in the back of my truck. That's what I always have.
It's like a work shovel? Is it still there? Can you do me a huge favor and just write your name on the bottom? Just so I know that we didn't make those marks. I'm just gonna write the date on it, okay? 8/15/18 at 5:56.
Was your wife wearing any shorts or pants or anything just under her? Okay. Do you remember what they look like? Blue. Okay. And the girls, do you remember what their pajamas were?
At 17:56, Agent Tammy Lee left the room with the signed copy of exactly where Shanann and the girls could be located at Survey 319.
If you're out there, just come back. Like, if somebody has her, just please bring her back.
Breaking new details in the last few minutes about the man who spoke to our cameras, pleading for his wife's safe return.
I'm just concerned, and Shanann, if you're hearing this or you're out there, please let somebody know you're okay.
What we're learning about the pregnant mother's whereabouts and who may be responsible for her disappearance.
We have breaking new details in just the last few minutes. Contact 7 Investigates is learning new details about the case of that missing pregnant mother.
We want to bring in Denver 7 investigative reporter Jace Larson, who's learning from top sources more about this investigation and the husband's involvement. Jace?
Tonight, we have learned from 2 law enforcement sources who are close to the investigation. They tell me that this husband has confessed to killing his family, and he is now detained. We have also learned some other information here. Law enforcement believes they know where the bodies are buried, and they are in the process right now of trying to recover those bodies. Police officers and other officials working on this investigation are not releasing much more information, but my colleague Jacqueline Allen is live at the scene right now where she is learning some new details herself. Jacqueline?
That's right. Police are still here tonight at the house watching. Now, we just talked to Chris Watts yesterday, and the way he acted, the bizarre things he had to say, that raised red flags for police and for basically anyone who saw that interview. We want to show you some excerpts from that interview where he talks about having words with Shanann that night.
It wasn't like an argument. We had an emotional conversation, but I'll leave it at that. But I just want them back. I just want them to come back. And if they're not safe right now, that's what's tearing me apart. Because if they are safe, they're coming back. But if they're not, this has got to stop. Like, somebody has to come forward.
Chilling to see those smiles and to hear that now, especially because neighbors, friends, family, they say they seem like a happy family. Even Shanann recently posted a video on Facebook detailing their entire relationship and saying Chris had stuck with her through health challenges from the very start.
He went to my colonoscopy. I tortured him. I rejected him. I pushed him away time and time and time again. He knew me at my worst, and he accepted me. 8 years later, we have 2 kids. We live in Colorado, and he's the best thing that has ever happened to me.
So what changed tonight, we do not know, but we do know that she was gone this summer, spent 6 weeks with her family in North Carolina, recently came back after a work trip. Now, police say they will be giving an update with more information at 9 tomorrow morning. We, of course, will be all over that. This is not the ending that anyone wanted in this story.
My name's Kevin Koback. I'm with the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, and we're assisting the Frederick Police Department with this case involving Chris Watts. And this is Tim Martinez, also an agent at CBI. Sir, if you just introduce yourself.
Dwayne Kessinger. I'm Nicole's father.
And Nicole, can you just introduce yourself for the recording?
Nicole Kessinger.
You're not being interrogated as a criminal suspect. We're here to understand your relationship with Chris and what you know about Chris and his family, and events relating to Chris Watts. And do you know him as Chris or Christopher?
Either one.
Okay. The phone number that you reached him on, can you tell me what that number was?
I think I deleted that out of my phone too. I just cut him out of my life. It's a 910 number. You guys have it.
We gave it to Mark yesterday.
Yeah.
So
I probably have it, but
it.
just in case.
I don't have it
If
anymore.
I recited it to you, would you know it?
Just the first 3 numbers.
But you know it as a 910 number?
Yes, that's what I do know. I mean, that's what I've got.
North Carolina or something.
North Carolina. So I just want to know how you met him, where you met him, how long you guys were dating, and those kind of things initially.
Okay. I think I met him sometime in June, probably early June. It might have been May. It was just talking at work. It was pretty casual. And he didn't have a wedding ring on his finger. And every time I talked to him, he didn't tell me that he was in a relationship. He didn't even mention his kids right away either. And then one day he told me that he had 2 kids. I was like, that's pretty cool. And started telling me about his kids.
That sounded like a sarcastic comment.
No, I thought it was kind of cute. I was like, oh, he's a dad. It was right around Father's Day too. So whenever that is in June.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm not good with holidays.
He told me he had kids, and then it was Father's Day shortly after that.
Okay.
So that's what I do know. And I was like, I thought it was cute. And then he's telling me about him. He's pretty excited about him. And then he mentioned that he did have a significant other.
And then he told me that those two were in the process of a separation.
Did he mention the children's name or his significant other's name?
I didn't know his significant other's name for a while. And then I think he told me his kids' names pretty quick, but to be honest with you, on an exact date of when that happened, I don't know.
So you work in the office and you take care of health safety for Anadarko is an oil and gas company, right?
Yes.
So you're doing health safety in the office and Chris works in the field?
Yes.
As a, what kind of job does he do?
He's an operator. So I don't know like all of his daily duties, but he's a field operator, so he works with like the oil wells.
Take us through kind of a little bit of the early part of how he courted you or you courted him. I don't know which one happened. How you guys got to know each other.
So part of my job is to manage the gas monitors that we have. So Anadarko requires all of their field personnel to carry like gas monitor sensors for toxic gases, and it's my job to control the inventory, any issues, anything like that. And we were having some pretty serious like equipment issues, and we had numerous amounts of people coming in my office one day, and he happened to be one of them. We just kind of had a lot in common and just hit it off, so we'd always have, you know, pretty good conversations. And then one day he told me that he had kids and started talking about his kids, and then mentioned, yes, that I have a wife, but we're getting separated. I said, okay. And then
when do you think that was?
When he said all that?
So specifically when he told you he was getting separated from his wife. Was that within the first couple of weeks that you knew him, or was that later on? You said you met him around May or June.
Yeah, it was still in June.
Okay.
It would have been before Father's Day.
So had you guys ever gone out on any kind of
No.
date at that time? You just
No.
conversing at work?
Yeah, that's all it was.
Let's go back real quick. So why did he tell you that he was getting a divorce? Did he ask you out at that time?
No, he didn't. I think he was probably interested in me. And so he talked to me a couple times via his work phone, and I was like, no. Like, it was still very, like, friendly conversation. But then when I realized, like, this man is interested in me, I'm interested in him, this is personal, so we got away from the Anadarko thing, because I really don't want those guys affiliated with any of this. And
so you have a work phone that's specifically...
No, I have one phone that I do both on. He has two phones. The beginning of July, it was like right around my birthday. It's like so sometime at the very end of June or the beginning of July.
Okay. And that's the first meeting you had outside of work?
Yeah.
Basic conversation for a first date?
I mean, we kept it pretty simple, I guess, you know. I don't even remember everything we talked about. We
Sure.
were there for a few hours.
So if I ask about conversation, what I'm looking for, was he talking about his family during any of these meetings? Those are the kind of, I understand, whatever you guys were talking about, relationship, your life, your interests, those things, that we don't need to know that. What I'm interested in is knowing is when he brings up his children, when he brings up his wife, when he brings up financial information, when he brings up his home, when he brings up anything that may have been, and it's been a few days, so you've had a chance to reflect on some articles that you may have read, and you know, unfortunately, that you're in a situation where somebody has been murdered. And that information, when you look backwards in your memory with the conversations with Chris, anything that he might have said that would be relative to that, and I'm not just, even if one day he was mad and he said, I want to do this or do that, anything like that, if he ever made any kind of statements that you were like, whoa, that was weird, or why would he say that, or why did he mention that? Do you understand what I'm
No,
looking
I
for?
completely understand. I just feel like some of this happened so long ago that I can't tell you like the exact words of the exact conversation at the exact time and place, because it's like we had a lot of conversations. I mean, we talked every single day. So it's like I'm trying to help you guys with the stuff, like the stuff that's more current. I can give you guys a lot more like detail and exact times. But when you're asking me about something that happened 6 weeks ago and exactly what was said, it's like, I mean, I'm sure I can give you a general idea, but to be honest with you, like to pinpoint exact words, it's not going to happen.
I'm not looking for exact words, just more, let's say 6 weeks ago he said something that triggered with you last night, That's what I'd be looking for. Or something 4 weeks ago. And if you don't remember where it was or the specific words, that doesn't matter. Just he said something that was off the wall, or he said this or he said that, that has caused you a moment to pause and you go, wow, I wonder why you said that. Now knowing what you know today. Do you understand where I'm going with that?
I completely understand. And to be honest with you, I mean, there were several discussions that we had about his current relationship and where it had gone and what it had caused. And he talked about his kids from time to time. But the thing is he was never hostile. It was never anything aggressive. Like, even when he spoke of his wife and the fact that they were separating, it was never, like, ill. It was still very kind. It was just like, this is not working, and would explain why, but it wasn't anything out of the ordinary or anything that I think would scare me. And to this day, even after everything that I found out, I still look back at that and I don't see any red lights with the way that he spoke of his family.
Did you guys ever have arguments? I mean,
No.
Pretty short relationship, no arguments during that time.
No.
Did he ever lose his temper at any time?
Never.
You guys never had a yelling match?
No.
So you never saw him upset or mad?
No. And there was a couple times that we had some disagreements on things that as we further progress into this story, but it was never, I am very calm when I talk to people. It's extremely rational when I handle situations that there's a disagreement in, and he always was the exact same way. Always. I never stressed anything. I think one thing that actually kind of drew me to him was the fact that he was very open with communicating with me if there were any differences on how we saw things or just open-minded about things. It was actually, I personally thought it was kind of unique, because usually most of the men that I've ever met are typically very closed off, and I didn't get that from him.
Did you guys spend most of the time at your place?
Always.
Okay, always at your place.
Or we'd go out, but I told Mark yesterday, he asked me if I went over there, and I told him about one time that I went over to that house. I've been to that house twice, but it was very, very brief, and it was not an extended stay. I did not feel comfortable there.
Do you recall where the house was?
Yeah, it's right off the highway in Frederick.
Okay. And you know the streets?
I mean, I'm sure I could figure it out again if I really had to. Off the top of my head, no.
Do you know the street name?
No.
Okay.
I would have to drive around in there to get there.
Okay.
Well, the text
Media's
reiterate
just
what
gonna-
you've been saying all along, so it's not like...
Well, they do. That's the other thing, too. I mean, that's kind of a good backup. Yeah, I'll give it to him.
I think you hit the nail right on the head. There's reasons why we want everything. It validates things that we know. I'm not going to come out and tell you that if you tell me something today, we'll validate it with your text messages, whether it's the ones we have now or the ones you're going to give us.
I'll give
Certainly.
it to him. If you want to go get him.
I want you to read this, is what I want you to do before you decide that, okay?
So the second time I went to that house, I'm not sure what day it was, but it was the weekend of the 14th. One of those 2 days. But we had went out, and we stopped there just real quick on the way back. And we were there not very long, but that time I saw a picture of his wife and one of his kids. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, she's so beautiful. And I took a step back, and I was just this man has a gorgeous house. He has beautiful babies. He has a beautiful wife. He has an awesome job. Why would he want to leave this? And I remember talking to him about it, and that was the first time that I tried to actually say, what do you think about not separating from your wife? What if you really try to work on this? And he had expressed to me that we've tried to work on this, and it's not working, so that is why we're separating. And I spent some time, just, kind of, because it almost made me feel bad, where I was, to the point where I'm engaging in a relationship with a man who, the way he described it, is in a contractual agreement, but was not in an emotional relationship with somebody. And for me, the way I would have preferred to do this is to have waited till that contractual agreement was also done, and he was done. And he could have approached me and said, I'm just had a divorce, maybe we could take this slow, what do you think? But instead it was, oh, we're separated and we're working on a divorce. That is the part that I feel bad about, because I should have waited on that, and I didn't.
court has reviewed a affidavit in support of a warrantless arrest. The court has found probable cause for the arrest. Specifically, I see that Mr. Watts was arrested for 3 counts of first-degree murder, each a Class 1 felony, and 3 counts of tampering with a deceased human body, each a Class 3 felony. Again, these are only charges that are named in the affidavit in support of the warrantless arrest. It's the district attorney's office who will ultimately decide what charges, if any, are going to be filed. And Mr. Merson, would you like me to advise your client of his rights pursuant to Rule 5?
Yes, please.
Thank you. So, Mr. Watts, I would like you to listen carefully to the rights that you have, okay?
Thank you.
And so first, you don't need to make any statements. Any statements you make can and may be used against you. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have the right to counsel. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you are indigent, you have the right to request the appointment of counsel or consult with a public defender before any further proceedings are held. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Merson is the head of the public defender's office, and he is going to represent you today and potentially in the future. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any plea that you make must be made voluntarily and not the result of undue influence or coercion. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Right now, charges have not been filed, so this is a limited advisement. I intend to bring you back next week once formal charges are filed on Monday, so I can give you a full advisement. But I will tell you that at this point, the court is not authorizing any bail. Once I know what the official charges are that are filed by the district attorney's office, I'll inform you the nature of the charges. If charges are filed, you have the right to a jury trial, and you have the right to demand and receive a preliminary hearing within a reasonable time to determine whether probable cause exists to believe that you committed any of the charges that are filed by the district attorney's office. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
My intention is for the parties to come back to court next Tuesday so I could advise Mr. Watts of his formal charges that are filed no later than 3:30 on Monday. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be requiring the prosecutor to file a response between now and Tuesday, whether we can resolve some of these issues now. For example, the preservation of certain evidence, like police notes, handwritten notes, like touch DNA evidence, things of that nature.
Your Honor, I think we can address some of these pretty quickly, but certainly not all of them. We would be asking for time to file a written response to some of them.
Yeah, I'm just concerned about the time that elapses between now and Tuesday, and I want to make sure that the evidence that's being requested to be preserved is preserved.
Understood.
So, for example, can you, any objection for me to order that all law enforcement, both state and federal, that were involved in this case, preserve their handwritten notes? Any objection to that?
No.
So I will grant that request. Did you read Mr. Merson's motion with regard to touch DNA?
I believe that was filed under seal, and I have not seen it.
It was suppressed, so they should have had access to it.
Gail, Christy, could you print out a copy for Mr. Red? Again, I appreciate the fact that this happened very quickly, and so let me get you a copy of that, a hard copy of that, and then you can review it and let me know what your thoughts are. Is there an autopsy that's scheduled to be conducted in the near future?
Not yet.
It was a
16.
16?
Yes.
And while we're waiting, Mr. Merson, I noticed that...
Actually, I'm sorry to interrupt, Judge. It was D17.
Well, why don't we give Mr. Wren an opportunity and let me know whether, without talking about the substance, whether he has an objection or not. It's really more of putting the prosecution on notice than anything else. Why don't you read it first and let me know what you think.
So, I did add the house to this, so the D17 will have the house on it as well. But that's the gist of it. At this point, I'm concerned about whether or not it's not has been released by law enforcement. Okay. When was that? Late last night. Okay. Alright. That's because that part of the motion would be moved at this point. Mostly concerns what's in this motion. So, okay.
If I could take a moment to read this.
Mr. Merson, if you're not discussing it.
And when you say talk about this, are we still talking about D17, which was also filed under seal?
Yes.
So with respect to paragraph number 3, Judge, our concerns relate to the way this is worded. As the court knows, the pathologist goes through a very extensive process when conducting an autopsy, much of which is governed by statute. I think most of what he's asking for is standard procedure for an autopsy conducted in this jurisdiction and would be done. However, I have concerns about the way this is phrased in that it orders collection of trace DNA and touch DNA from certain areas of bodies that at this point we don't even have, frankly. Second, we don't know if that trace DNA is going to even exist if we have the bodies. So there's no way to order us to find something that may or may not exist.
I think when I read the motion, it essentially is putting the prosecution on notice that at some point they may be in possession of exculpatory evidence, and it's their duty to make reasonable efforts to preserve that and ultimately provide that to the defense. And so I think they're on notice by the mere fact that we're talking about this, that Mr. Wren got a copy of the motion, and if this becomes an issue later on, we can litigate this, and there's some pretty significant sanctions for the destruction of exculpatory evidence. Okay, so that will be the ruling of the court.
Your Honor, may I ask one clarifying question? Because the way that the motion is titled talks about the collection of touch or trace DNA at 2825 Saratoga Trail as well as during the autopsy, but the body of the motion does not. I want to make sure that Mr. Merson is aware that the home where the homicides were alleged to have occurred has been released by law enforcement, was released as of about midnight last night. So even as we stand today, we are not in a position to be able to go back in and collect trace DNA from that home. So I just want to make clear that the ruling of the court does not require us to do anything affirmative with respect to the home.
And Mr. Wren advised me that the government is no longer in control of the home, so I'm aware of that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's a good chance that those are like DA investigators or something. So don't go pointing guns at anyone. We are now, but yeah, just go in easy because it's probably, hopefully, nothing.
Good, how are you?
So we can go inside so they're not.
Yeah, let's come on inside and have a chat.
Go ahead, I'll follow you guys.
How are you?
Hi.
Good. Trying not to touch anything. Sorry, guys.
So,
investigators? I'm an attorney. She is a defense expert. We have another defense expert here, and I'm an investigator in her office upstairs as well.
Awesome.
So,
do you think we could just grab everybody down here so I can meet them and get some names, and we'll let you guys get back to your thing?
that's fine.
Yeah, just so I can ID who's here.
Sure, I'll take whatever you got there. It's the larger style.
Do you mind if I just walk that way a little bit so I'm not next to the door here?
Yeah.
They get my my bad side on camera. Hey, this is Officer Lambert with the Kona Police Department. Hey, can we talk to whatever DA is handling Frederick's triple homicide case? We're in the house and apparently the defense team's in here, but nobody knew. So we need to know if they're allowed to be in here if they got an okay. So we definitely need to talk to somebody. I can't do a voicemail. It's Officer Lambert. I'm with Dacono. I'm covering Frederick right now. So Frederick's here as well, but they're getting names and IDs of everybody. So yeah, I guess that's okay. We're in the house. We got called for a burg in progress. So we're in the house with the team now. So since we're here. I don't know if there's any supervisors available or anything. Oh, okay, I guess if we're going to do a call back, if she's okay if we leave, then.
An organized chaos for what's going on, so I just hope we didn't cause too much of an issue.
What kind of razor do you use for your head? That's my big question for you. Because I just cut myself 2 days ago.
You know what? My favorite ones, they're a Schick Extreme 3, I believe it's called. And the blades actually flex.
Oh, really?
It's like a green handle. They're just disposable.
Every time you shower, is that what you do?
Not usually right after I shower.
I just started Bic in the summer.
Yeah.
It sure does save you some headaches.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I used to do a real short clipper, and I thought that's got to be easier than razor, but it's not.
No, I totally agree. Well, the trick that I'm having is that my razor's like, after I use it 2 or 3 times on my head, it's dull.
Yeah. So, let's see if I can find this razor here. Ooh,
I'm sorry, we probably should have given you guys a heads up.
That would definitely be a good idea,
Yeah.
especially in the future.
Yeah, no, it didn't even occur to me that the neighbors would, and I understand.
Yeah, so it was called in as a burglary, and we're just,
You got to respond to that.
Yeah. Yep. Ready? Yep. I'll tell the neighbors, you tell the press.
I'm just going to clear. So we're good to go?
Good to go. They're okay to be in there.
Okay. Her parents asked me to let them know if anyone was in here and they weren't notified. That's why they asked me to call you guys.
Yeah, we weren't notified either. We probably should have been.
That's
But,
why. Well, I didn't see any cars. I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything on the door. And we were like, there's someone in there.
Code 4.
And her parents.
I trusted you to take care of them, not kill them.
Confessed killer Chris Watts faced his father and mother-in-law in court today.
I have no idea who gave you the right to take their lives.
The Colorado husband and father given 3 life sentences for the murders of pregnant wife Shanann, 3-year-old Celeste, and 4-year-old Bella.
And they also trust the heartless monster, and then you take them out like trash. You disgust me.
In a courtroom where 2 families openly wept, Watts became emotional when his own mother spoke directly to him as only a mother can.
We love you. And we forgive you, son.
The motive for murders, says the DA, Watts' desire to start a new life with his girlfriend. In court, horrific new revelations. Shanann was strangled, daughters Celeste and Bella smothered.
Imagine the horror in Bella's mind as her father took her last breaths away. And I understand very clearly, Bella fought back for her life.
The little girls' bodies were dumped in oil tanks, Shanann's in a shallow grave.
Your faithful wife trusted you. Your children adored you, and they also trusted you.
A family killed at the hands of the man they loved most.
My daddy is a hero.
Miguel Almaguer, NBC News.